Just like walk away off the court. He stood up, was like starting to walk away, and they just laid back down. That's cat.
Hey, when you guys got to flash up quicker.
Let's go, Austin.
Thank God they're still running jump defense while up being up 20. That's bad.
Yeah, Austin.
All the way down.
With like minimum fouls, like if they're just
It is so bad.
yeah, sure. Because then in the play, it's like getting better. Out of there, get the up. I'm wide. Break the front.
I've seen you around. I just don't know which campus you're on. Right.
Ryan, you just make sure.
I'll just switch it. All right, boys.
the tempo of the game and control the end of quarter situations and late game situations. So, really have to put kind of more overall buy-in into that. Kind of style of play, more sureness on offense, better defense, better toughness. There's been a few games I haven't recognized our team, what we've been over the past few years, toughness, defense, and rebounding. So I'm really looking, it's been a big talking point the past couple of weeks. It's going to be a big stressing point for us over the break and moving forward throughout the rest of the season.
Turnover is such a big piece, definitely in terms of tempo. But when you have the ball, how exactly are you from the sideline helping these kids, and even more so than in game? How are you talking to them about controlling the tempo when they have possession?
A lot of it is being calm, patient. We haven't been making one more pass and taking my job is to try to control them and that kind of stuff, put them in positions where they can ask the question. We've been doing a lot of growth in practice. For instance, yesterday we did a bunch of our steps with no dribble. We couldn't dribble the ball. We got to drop that forward for a execute. They had to set good screen, in order to score. So, those kind of things. My job is to kind of understand what I'm at. That's kind of what it's for.
Awesome. Final thoughts here before tip-off, Coach?
We're just excited. Like I said, I really think this team, I've enjoyed, despite our record, I've really enjoyed they're all modern. The culture's been great. It's been scary for us to the rest of the team. And I really think these guys are modern. They're kind of ugly stuff for the team and trying to get this sports ball.
Awesome. That was head coach Mike Van Dahl of your Steamboat Sailors boys team. We'll have the opening tip-off in just a few minutes, as Lone Epstein will have the call against Mead here in just a couple. This is your Steamboat Sailors Sports Connection, KTYV 105.7. We're online as well at steamboatradio.com.
This is Skip Deardo from Alpine Lumber here in Steamboat Springs. Alpine Lumber is a Colorado company that is committed to being the best supplier of materials and related services to the professional builder and homeowner throughout the area, offering lumber and building materials, hardware, paints, and stains. And we are proud to support Sailors Basketball. Easy to find Alpine Lumber, located on Pine Grove Road past Walgreens. Alpine Lumber, employee-owned and operated, contractor's choice, homeowner's choice.
I'm Terry. And this is Phil from Russell's Auto Salon.
If you need help with your auto collision repair, we make it easy. Just bring me an email and a claim number, and I'll take care of the rest.
Russell's Auto Salon, Colorado's premier collision center, leading the industry in technology, where we've gone green with Enviro-based paint. We are proud supporters of Steamboat Sailors Sports.
Russell's Auto Salon, where we always meet by accident. 879-1515.
Russell's Auto Salon.
879-1515.
It's time now for your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
Hi, I'm Rose Epstein and I'm a junior at Steamboat Springs High School. I'm number 32 and I played the post position. I've played since middle school and all throughout high school so far. I also like to mountain bike in the summer and hang out with my friends. Outside of school and sports, I'm also involved in helping my brother who's special needs. In 10 years, I see myself in school, just working probably and trying to make a living. My favorite subject in school right now is math, probably because it's a challenge, but I also really like it. My favorite movie is Bridesmaids because I can always laugh. Last summer, I mountain bike raced like every weekend. It was super fun. My favorite race was probably Powderhorn because we had a lift service access and I got second place. My goal for this season is to average more points than I did last year, probably 2 points a game. What I'll remember most about being a sailor is all my friends I made and the sports that keep us a family. I'm Rose Epstein, I'm a junior in high school, and I'm proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
The team at Mountain View Car Wash and Detailing Professionals is proud to be supporting Sailor Sports this season. Whether a basic wash or a full detail, we know that the key to providing you with with excellent service is teamwork and attention to detail. So while the sailors are focusing on cleaning up the competition this season, we'll be focusing on cleaning up your vehicle. With affordable washes and a wide variety of detailed services, we have the game plan to fit your budget and needs. We are located at the corner of Highway 40 and Trafalgar Drive. Mountain View Car Wash, where there are no Hail Marys, just awesome touchdown dances.
It's time now for your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
I'm Parker Lindquist. I'm a sophomore in Steamboat Springs High School. I'm number 35 on the basketball team, and today I play power forward. So this year is going to be my first year playing on the varsity team. Outside of school sports, I'm also involved in Venue Church. I volunteer there. I'm not really sure where I'd like to go to college so far. We'll just see where I like to go. I'd love to play in college if given the opportunity. Basketball for sure. 10 years, I'm not exactly sure where I see myself, to be honest. My favorite subject in school is I like computer science. My favorite movie, Ghostbusters.
Right there,
just full action. Last summer I worked at Carl's, a good work environment, and I hung out with friends a lot. My goal for this season is to get comfortable with varsity game speed and pull massive boards. My goals for life are, my main goal is just to be happy. What I remember most about being a sailor is bus rides and hanging with the boys for sure. My name is Parker, I'm a sophomore, and I'm proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
I'm Terry.
And this is Phil
From Russell's Auto Salon.
If you need help with your auto collision repair, we make it easy. Just bring me an email and a claim number, and I'll take care of the rest.
Russell's Auto Salon, Colorado's premier collision center, leading the industry in technology, where we've gone green with Enviro-based paint, and we are proud supporters of Steamboat Sailors Sports.
Russell's Auto Salon, where we always meet by accident. 879-1515.
Russell's Auto Salon.
879-1515.
It's time now for your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
My name is Sam Campbell, and I'm a sophomore in high school. I'm number 45, and I play post and center. I've been playing for 8 years, and I also like to play soccer, and I run cross country. Outside of school and sports, I'm also involved in orchestra. I play the violin. I've played it for 11 years. I'd like to go to college at Duke or UW, and I don't think I'll play anything in college, maybe intramurals, and probably either soccer or basketball. In 10 years, I see myself working in the field for marine biology, and my favorite subject in school is either Spanish or AP Bio. My favorite movie is Free Solo, because it's super dramatic, and I love the people in it, and the soundtrack is amazing. Last summer, I went to a marine biology camp in North Carolina for 2 weeks, and we stayed at UNC Wilmington and did a whole bunch of field work on the beaches in North Carolina. So that was super cool. My goal for the season is to work on my shop form and become consistent, and my goals for life are being successful and happy. What I will remember most about being a sailor is all of the people that I play sports with. Like, I love the teams, and I love the coaches, and just the team culture is amazing. My name is Sam Campbell. I'm a sophomore in high school, and I'm proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
The team at Mountain View Car Wash and Detailing Professionals is proud to be supporting sailor sports this season. Whether a basic wash or a full detail, we know that the key to providing you with excellent service is teamwork and attention to detail. So while the sailors are focusing on cleaning up the competition this season, we'll be focusing on cleaning up your vehicle. With affordable washes and a wide variety of detailed services, we have the game plan to fit your budget and needs. We are located at the corner of Highway 40 and Trafalgar Drive. Mountain View Car Wash, where there are no Hail Marys, just awesome touchdown dances.
It's time now for your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
My name is Shani, and I'm a senior, and I'm number 30. I'm a shooting guard. I've been playing for 10 years. I also like to play lacrosse, and I run cross country. Outside of school, I'm involved with Youth Inspiring Change, and I volunteer at the animal shelter. I would like to go to CU. And I will not be playing in college. Maybe like a hiking club, rock club. In 10 years, I see myself in the wilderness, guiding people through the mountains. My favorite subject in school is science because I love having information. My favorite movie is Forrest Gump. Last summer, I went to Thailand and conservation and sustainability within the local people. And my goal for the season is to work well together and win some games. My goals for life, to be successful in everything I do and hopefully travel the world and save the planet, you know? What I will remember most about being a sailor is the family, friendship, the lessons I learned. My name is Shelby Weiss. I'm a senior, and I'm proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight.
Quinn, how you been?
105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
Kind of balling.
Hey, Sailor basketball fans, PJ Ward from the Yampa Valley Bank here to thank you for supporting our hometown basketball team. The Yampa Valley Bank is proud to support all of our students, athletes, and to sponsor this broadcast of Steamboat Sailors basketball. On KTYV, Sports on FM, Steamboat High School Athletics are an example of our genuine hometown, Yampa Valley Bank, genuine hometown banking. Enjoy the game, and go Sailors!
This is Skip Deerdorf from Alpine Lumber here in Steamboat Springs.
Yeah.
Alpine Lumber is a Colorado company that is committed to being the best supplier of materials and related services to the professional builder and homeowner throughout the country, offering lumber and building materials, hardware, paints, and stains. And we are proud to support Sailors Basketball. Easy to find Alpine Lumber, located on Pine Grove Road past Walgreens. Alpine Lumber, employee-owned and operated, contractor's choice, homeowner's choice.
I just couldn't.
Hi, Steamboat friends. This is Charlie Green from Mountain Mattress and Furniture. Do you ever notice how grumpy your parents get when house guests arrive? Or how mean your big sister gets when you have to share her room for the weekend? I've got the secret to keep everyone happy. Stop by Mountain Mattress and Furniture on Loggers Lane for the best price and selection on Serta, Tempur-Pedic, and Simmons mattresses. Plus a great selection of linens and even comfy mattresses for the pull-out couch. If everyone sleeps, everyone stays happy, and a great mattress from Mountain Mattress and Furniture is the secret.
It's time now for your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV.
Hi, my name is JC May, and I'm a senior at the Steamboat Springs High School. My number is 21, and I've been playing basketball since 3rd grade. I also like to play lacrosse. Outside of school and sports, I'm also involved in 4-H. I'd like to go to college in Wyoming. I would like to play basketball in Wyoming if I could, but if not, it's in the world. In 10 years, I see myself with a job, living on my own. My favorite subject in school is math. My favorite movie is Pirates of the Caribbean. I like this movie because of the drama. So this summer, I raised a 4-H market swine named Braun, and I won reserve champion at the Rock County Fair. And as well, I went to 4 different basketball camps, all through PGC, which is Point Guard College Camp, in Boulder, Greeley, and 2 other places. I also went fishing a lot, just on Stagecoach and Steamboat, Lake, in the river. My goal for this season is to create a positive environment for my peers and my community. And my goals for life are to strive. What I will remember most about being a sailor is the community. Once again, I'm JC May. I'm a senior at Steamboat Springs High School, and I am proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
Managing local land involves balancing resources such as agriculture, water, and wildlife. I'm Brian Ripley, and I have over 16 years of experience managing ranch resources as your neighbor here in Routt County. I'm the Ranch and Rural Property Specialist for the Paoli Group with the support of Colorado Group Realty. Put your trust in someone that has the practical experience and knowledge to help you with all of your ranch, rural, and equine property needs. I aspire to help you reach all of your real estate goals. I'm Brian Ripley, and you can find me at thepaoligroup.com in the Ranch Division.
Steamboat Ace is a proud sponsor of the Steamboat Sailors. That's not the only way Ace supports the community.
Hi, Bridget here from Steamboat Ace. We are so proud to be a part of the Steamboat community. It's our priority to support and encourage positive activities and hobbies for our youth.
How do you do that?
In addition to local scholarships, Ace invites the sailor community to fundraise for their activity or club by providing a great venue and spots to host a hot dog or bake sale.
Love it. Every weekend I can shop
support the Steamboat Sailors shopping place.
It's time now for your Steamboat Sailors Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
My name is Kellen Adams, and I'm a sophomore. I'm number 10. I play point guard, and I've been playing for 10 years. I also like to play lacrosse, and I run cross country. Outside of school and sports, I like to fish. I'm not 100% sure where I'd like to go to college, but I know I'm going to go to 4-year school. I'm not 100% sure if I would like to play college sport or not. In 10 years, I see myself with a girlfriend and a nice job. My favorite subject in school is math because it's the subject I understand the most. My favorite movie is Horrible Bosses. I like this movie because it's very funny and I like the comedy. Last summer, I went to a fishing trip in Honduras with my friend and hung out at the river and played a lot of spike ball. My goals for the season is to become a better player and improve my game. My goals for life are to have a successful job and family. What I remember most about being a sailor is the brotherhood and the friends I made on this team. My name is Kellen Adams. I'm a sophomore and I'm proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM. Steamboat Sailors Basketball on KTYV Sports on FM is brought to you by Valley Bank.
Touchdown, Martin. Alpine Celebration, Mountain View Car Wash. Steamboat Ace Hardware. With Auto Salon. Mountain Mattress and Furniture. Steamboat Resorts by Winning Vacation Lane. And the Family Group with Colorado Group Realty.
Steamboat Sailors Basketball on KTYV Sports on FM at 105.7 and SteamboatRadio.com.
Now let's go to the booth for the call of Steamboat Sailors Basketball.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lowen Epstein, live here in Mead, Colorado, where the Mead Mavericks are getting set to take on your Steamboat Springs Sailors. Lowen Epstein along with Ryan Hansen in the booth today. Ryan, how are you doing?
Doing pretty well. Looking to see some good basketball being played today.
Mead, the number 4 team in the state right now for 4A, averaging 96 points a game. We were talking about it off mic, Ryan. I mean, this is a big team, too. If they really wanted to, they could have a starting 5 made up of entirely kids who were 6'4" or taller.
Yeah, you know, they have that height, and as you touched on there, the incredibly high average of points, but their shooters are the key to their team. You know, even in the fast break situations, they really like to see it out to their shooters rather than drive it all the way to the hole, and that's how they go on their runs. You know, they start hitting their shots, and for them, threes are like dunks because it gets everyone going. It really gets the team on the same page in a nice flow.
This Mavericks team, a legitimate state championship contender this season. Sailors are a lot smaller team and a lot younger team. What do you think they need to do today? How do you think they need to approach this game if they want to come out of here with a W?
Obviously, you know, on the defensive end, they need to be on their best behavior today, you know, rotating, matching those shooters, getting down into the corners where Mead is looking to spread the floor and get those open shots. You just cannot give open shots to this team, so a lot of smart defense is definitely going to be necessary.
Young lineup for the Sailors today. Kellen Adams getting the start in place of Ethan Piles. What do you think about that move from Coach Van Dahl? How do you like that?
You know, Kellen Adams, as you saw in the last game, a pretty nice young point guard. He really is a good distributor, and he's pretty solid with the ball. You know, he doesn't do anything too sporadic or crazy that could cause a turnover, which is something that obviously we talked about you don't want against this Mead team. And Kellen Adams is a really solid young player on the defensive end as well. Really good at locking up those quicker guards and has a lot of talent and a lot of potential as well.
So Kellen Adams, Connor Hansen, Dawson Lindquist, Eric Pollard, and Jake Kreisig, who had a great game the other night against Moffat County. He'll be your starting 5 for the Sailors. Eric Pollard, the 6'7" junior at the middle line, getting set for tip-off here. He'll be going toe-to-toe with J.P. Shears. Shears is going to win this tip-off, and they're off. It'll be Will Marr, the senior, taking it up the floor for the Mead Mavericks. Mavericks donning their all-white uniforms with brown numbers, brown lettering, and brown trim down the sides. Sailors, good job on the opening defensive possession there. Now they have it on offense. Connor Hansen works it around to Jake Kreisig. Kreisig handles it at the top of the key. Now give it back to Hansen. First 30 seconds of this one have run off the clock. Kellen Adams getting his first start ever. Works it around the corner. Here's Hansen. Good interior defense here by the Mavericks. Sailors can't get a shot inside. Kellen Adams handles it now, far side top corner. And he works it around to Eric Pollard. Pollard back up top to Adams. Drives in with his left, kicks it out to Lindquist. Pump fake in the corner to Hansen. He puts up a floater along the baseline, and that misses everything. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Mavericks, and the Sailors retain. Lindquist will inbound it here. Lindquist with 6:57 on the clock to go in the first quarter. Dawson Lindquist looks for somewhere to go, finds Kreisig inside. He's going to try to post up, and he's going to get, and there's going to be a whistle on the floor. And it'll be against Mead. So Jacob Bartholomew, the senior, gets called for the pushing call. Sailors inbound it once more. Here's Kreisig around the corner to Hansen. Hansen ducks under a defender and puts up a shot. That one's blocked. Mead comes back with it for their second time tonight. Rather this afternoon. Saturday afternoon game here in the Front Range of Colorado. Travel's called there on Jacob Bartholomew as he gets called for steps at the top of the key. Sailors inbounding it now. A little press thrown in here by the Mavericks. Kellen Adams will handle it, the young point guard. Dishes it across to Kreisig, now back to Adams. He's got a cross midcourt here, into the corner, tries to find Hansen. That's got too much mustard on it, goes just beyond him and out of bounds. Sailors with a turnover there, still tied at zeros. Mead gonna inbound it now. It is Jacob Bartholomew, gives it over to Will Marr. Will Marr guarded by Hansen. Marr brings it up the far side, and it's stolen away by Kellen Adams. So the Sailors come up with another defensive stop, and quickly now it's Dawson Lindquist. Lindquist drives in, pump fake, layup, no good, and it's pulled away by the Mavericks. Going back and forth here, and now a whistle's going to be called on the play. And they get Lindquist for the reach. Mead now working. It's Marr once more. He dishes it off to Nick Jacobs. Jacobs in the corner now. Give this one over to Bartholomew inside to their big man, and that's a good play there as J.P. Shears is denied by Lindquist in the paint. And now another call here. It'll be a reach-in call against Mead. Lindquist inbounding it from the near side. It'll be Kellen Adams taking it up the floor for the Sailors. Working left to right on your radio dial. Sailors wearing their all-red uniforms, white numbers, white letters. White trim down the sides. Inside, it's going to be Kreisig. Kreisig handles it near side top corner, and he dishes it back over to Adams. Adams around the horn to Hansen. Back to Adams now. It's a pitch and catch. Ethan Piles getting set to check in the game here, as is Granger Rowan. Hansen gets bodied up at around midcourt, gives it back to Adams, and now another whistle is going to be called. It goes against Mead again. This time they get J.P. Shears for the push. Piles checks in the game, as does Rowan. Dawson Lindquist and Kellen Adams are going to check out. Kellen Adams making his first start tonight. This is a tough matchup to get your first start in. Like I said in the pregame, Mead, the number 4 team in the state for 4A. And this inbounds pass is going to be taken away by the Mavericks. Mead quickly now on the offensive end. It's Will Marr getting bothered by Hansen. And here's a deep 3 ball from the black line. That's no good. That was Trey Ward. Rebound Sailors. And Piles is able to save it. He throws it right away to the Mavericks, and now they have it back once more. And the flush from Jacob Bartholomew. So 2-0, the first points of the game there as we nearing halfway through this first quarter. Connor Hansen goes up for the lay-in there. And Mead back the other way. Ball goes out of bounds. They retain.
You can see Coach Michael Van Dahl getting on the sideline there, really pointing it out to his team because, as you saw, there are quite a few miscommunications getting back on defense on the quick side there.
Will Maher inbounds it over to Nick Jacobs. Jacobs now at the top of the key, gets it poked away by Kreisig, and it ends up in the hands of Granger Rowan. Rowan now gives it back to Piles. Let's see what the senior can do here today as he got benched to start this one off. He's in the game now. Gives it over to Jake Kreisig. Kreisig had the big game against Moffat County on Tuesday night. Now it's back to Piles, far side top corner. Piles inside to Eric Pollard. Pollard dishes it back out to Rowan. Rowan now handling it with his left hand. He's got one behind him, one in front of him. Gives it to Kreisig. Kreisig draws the double team. Now inside to Pollard. He's going to try to post up. He's got the wide open shot, and Pollard gets it to fall. 4-2. Sailors leading this one. Will Maher comes off the pick, dishes it over to Bartholomew in the corner. Bartholomew gets stepped out of bounds, but they called him for a travel as well. And the Sailors going to inbound it here. Dawson Lindquist checks back in the game. Hansen will have a seat on the bench. Full court press still in play by the Mavericks. Sailors looking to inbound it quickly. Here's Jake Kreisig, gives it over to Lindquist. Lindquist now going to bring it up the floor. Back to Kreisig. Over to Piles. And a nice job there from the Sailors to break the full court press. That was with relative ease as they look inside to Pollard again. Kicks it out. Here's a three ball. Piles can't connect off the back iron. And Lindquist is there for the rebound. Pass is going to be tipped off of a Mead player. And they're going to say it'll be Mead basketball as a nice heads-up play by Will Maher to throw it off the feet of Jake Kreisig. Mead working. Only 2 points thus far for the highest scoring team in high school basketball. It's the Mavericks working. Will Maher guarded by Granger Rowan. Maher near side, top corner, nowhere to go with it. He's going to run off the pick. Good defensive effort there from Pollard. Maher sends it to the corner. Wide open three. Buries it. That's Trey Ward locking in from range. 5-4. Sailors down by 1. 2:45 to play in the first. Ball stolen away. Mead records the turnover, and now back on the offensive end they go. Quickly it's Will Maher. Three ball again. Automatic. Trey Ward. He's got 2 from range now. That'll be a timeout from the Sailors. 8-4. Sailors getting doubled up here early.
As you saw there, kind of how we talked about, the threes are like dunks for them. The student section getting on their feet here. Got the gym going with back-to-back triples there. But this Sailors defense coming out, I don't think Mead really expected this. I don't think many people expected this defensive effort from the Sailors like this.
Sailors looking good defensively, and you know, Ryan, we're talking about a Mead team that has put up 96 points a game in the 5 games that they've played thus far. So after one quarter to have them under 10 points is pretty astonishing. Absolutely. Sailors are definitely still in this game. Just need to make some quick adjustments on the offensive end. Into second quarter action we go now. Quickly it's going to be Ethan Piles up the far side. Piles gives it over to Granger Rowan. Rowan now is going to pump fake drive with his left hand. Kick it back out to Eric Pollard. Pollard now far side top corner, gives it up top to Piles. He commands his troops, tell them to clear the area, gives it to his right. That's going to be Lindquist. Work it around the horn once more. It's Kreisig, and that one's going to be stolen away. Lindquist is able to get his paws on it, but they're going to call a foul on the floor. This is going to go against Tanner Leak. And Leak gets called for the 4th team foul of the afternoon for the Mavericks. Kreisig takes a seat on the bench. Kellen Adams checks back in the game. It'll be Ethan Piles inbounding it from the near side. Lindquist handles it now just beyond midcourt. 2 minutes to play in the first. Sailors down 8-4. Kellen Adams runs into trouble, dishes it off to Lindquist. Lindquist puts up a pump fake, drives in, layup, and he gets fouled. So Lindquist getting to the stripe here. He'll shoot a couple. Dawson Lindquist, one of the focal points of this team, as is Jay Kreisig, just like we saw last game, Ryan.
Yeah, 19 points from Kreisig and 21 from Eric Pollard, who hasn't seen a seat on the bench yet, which is atypical for the Sailors team. Typically, Coach Van Dahl likes to get Eric Pollard on the bench with 4 minutes to go in the first, really get him that break going into the second quarter, have a late push, but Eric's been playing really well. Coach is keeping him out there.
So Lindquist goes 0 for 2 from the free throw line, not something you like to see against a team of this caliber. And a foul's going to be called there against Kellen Adams. He was just getting a little too handsy there with Will Marr. Marr's going to inbound it from the far side. He's got Adams in his face. Piles, Adams, Pollard, Rowan, and Lindquist, the Sailors on the floor right now. Here's a quick jump shot from Mead. No good there, as Will Tenor couldn't capitalize on the open shot. Cross-court pass from Piles. Rowan lines up the three. Can't get it to fall. Mead pulls it away. Mavericks quickly on the other end. Will Marr, near side top corner, guarded by Kellen Adams. Spins around, dishes it off, stolen away by Pollard. Pollard looking for somewhere to go, and now the Sailors just slow it down. 1 minute to play in the first quarter of action. Lowen Epstein, Ryan Hansen here on 105.7 KTYV. Also streaming on the World Wide Web at steamboatradio.com. That ball's tipped out. Sailors going to inbound it again. Kreisig and Hansen check in here. Pollard's going to check out of the game, as will Lindquist. It'll be Kellen Adams from the far side. Gives it over to Piles. And Piles is going to slow things down. Piles runs off with his right hand. He's going to drive in along the baseline, put up a floater shot. That one's just a little bit short, and a foul's called on the play. That's a pushing call against Granger Rowing. Mavericks going to have another opportunity with 45 seconds to play on the clock. Quickly now, it's Nick Jacobs. Jacobs goes behind his back, crossover dribble, and it's stolen away by Connor Hansen. Hansen with the active hands there gets the takeaway, and the Sailors have to move quickly now. 30 seconds on the clock. Here's Kellen Adams. Gives it back to Granger Rowan. Rowan now working over to Hansen. Hansen going to slow down the tempo at the top of the key. Now back to Kellen Adams. Adams in the corner over to Piles. Piles drives in with his left. Bounce pass into the corner. Hansen for three, and that's too high off the glass. 10 seconds on the clock. The Sailors get the rebound. Quickly now, it's Hansen from deep. He's at the black line, thought about pulling it, gives it to Piles. Piles drives in, floater at the buzzer, and he can't get that one to fall. As the Sailors, after one competitive game here, great defensive effort, it is an 8-4 score, not what a lot of people would have guessed.
As you're seeing those turnovers coming from the Sailors, and if they could have avoided 2 or 3 of those turnovers, just those errant passes and those kind of telegraphing their passes, showing the defense right where they're passing to, just leads to those steals that they really can't afford. But they've done an excellent job of countering that on the defensive end, holding this team only to 8 points. Jake Kreisig playing some good defense in there. Kellen Adams pretty scrappy up top tonight, and Granger Rowan really showing his hustle on the defensive end.
Listen, I think that this is a team, Ryan. We look at this Mavericks team and we see how big they are, see how lanky they are, and we have to understand, I think, that this is not going to be a team you're going to win the paint game with. You've got to be able to shoot with this team. And, if I'm Coach Van Dahl, I'm probably telling Connor Hansen, I'm probably telling Ethan Piles, I'm telling Granger Rowan, shoot as much as you can, because if we want to win this game, we're going to have to make some big three-point shots.
Yeah, spreading the floor is absolutely necessary for the Sailors right now.
Second quarter action, it's going to be Ethan Piles throwing it away here, stolen away by the Mavericks. Will Marr brings it up. Here's a three on the other end. That's off the back iron, no good. And Mead gets the rebound back. Marr at the top of the key, guarded by Adams. Eric Pollard and Dawson Lindquist getting set to check back in here. Marr takes it over to the far side, dishes it off to Bartholomew. Bartholomew back to Marr. In the corner, 3-ball. That's no good from Nick Jacobs. He's already made 2 of them today. Foul on the floor. And that is a hold against Hanson. So Piles and Rowan check out of the game here. Lindquist and Pollard gonna check in. Sailors going big here as it pays off. A block from Eric Pollard. That looked like it was pretty clean from where I'm sitting.
Yeah, he had his hand on top of the ball there, and he went up. That was nothing but the ball for sure.
So it's a shooting foul. Bartholomew is going to head to the line to shoot a pair. 7:17 to play in the second quarter. Sailors down 8-4. Mead came to Steamboat last year in what was a matchup against 2 top 10 teams at the time. That was a fun one. Mead ended up winning that game. It was close, under 10 points, I know. But it was a high-scoring game. So Mead absolutely knows this Steamboat team can compete. And I don't think they walked into this game overlooking them at all. So both free throws missed. Sailors trying to break the full court press now. Here we go, it's Dawson Lindquist. Lindquist handles it near side, top corner, works it around the horn. It's Kellen Adams at the top of the key. Adams with his left hand gets trapped, and now it's stolen away by Nick Jacobs. Jacobs goes up, and that's an easy lay-in for 2 more. Another turnover resulting in points for the Sailors. Need to slow that down. In the paint now, what a pass. Pollard gets up for it, and he's going to get fouled. Can't get it to fall, but Eric Pollard's going to head to the free throw line to shoot a couple. Connor Hansen coming over to have some words with Coach Van Dahl. 10-4, Pollard at the free throw line. First one, no good, off the front iron. The other thing, Ryan, is that in a game that could end up being close down the stretch, every free throw is going to count a lot.
Yeah, Mead missing 2, surprisingly, because as you can see, majority of the players on their team can stroke it, but absolutely those free throws are incredibly important in a defensive standoff such as this.
10-5 now. Pollard goes 1 for 2 from the line. Mead quickly working. Nick Jacobs at the top of the key. Jacobs drives in, gives it over to Bartholomew, and he works it around to Jacobs once more for 3, and Jacobs is automatic from behind the line so far as he's 3 for 4 now, 13-5. Here's Lindquist, scoring drought for the Sailors. Lindquist runs off the pick, and he just gets it stolen away from him. Another transition bucket for the Mavericks, as this time it's Will Marr forcing Coach Van Dahl to take a timeout. Sailors struggling here.
That's the offensive firepower of Mead there, as you saw. Just that quick burst of about 6 points, or pardon me, 8 points right there, just to draw that separation here in the second quarter, but something you hadn't seen up to this point, yeah.
I want to say a quick shout out to some of our sponsors here on KTYV 105.7 and on the World Wide Web at steamboatradio.com. Yampa Valley Bank, the Yampa Valley's only locally owned bank, member FDIC. Alpine Lumber, employee owned and operated, the contractor's choice, the homeowner's friend. And Mountain View Car Wash, helping the Sailors clean the competition between Town and McDonald's on Highway 40. So the Sailors looking for some offensive prowess here to come and spark this team up. It'll be Dawson Lindquist inbounding it. He's got Piles and Hanson near side. Lindquist looks for somewhere to go. He's running out of time, finds Piles in the corner. Piles draws the trap, now gives it back to Lindquist. Lindquist is going to work, moving left to right on your radio dial. He crossover dribbles, drives in, trying to take it coast to coast, and a charge is going to be called against Dawson Lindquist.
Julian Mary from Mead saw that coming from a mile away, set up for the charge under the basket when Dawson was crossing half court there. Really good anticipatory play there.
I think that was Jacob McGill. It was Jacob McGill, as Mead has the ensuing possession now. Quickly working, it's Nick Jacobs. And Jacobs goes into the hole for 2. He's got the majority of these points so far this afternoon for the Mavericks. And now what was once a defensive, low-scoring game, here's a 3-ball from Hansen, no good, has turned into a blowout quickly, 17-5, Sailors down. 5:27 to play in the first half. Ball went out of bounds on the offensive end for the Sailors, and they're going to have to drop back to play some defense. Here's Will Marr. Marr doing everything so far for Mead, as he's the primary ball handler for them. He's guarded by Jackson Metzler. Metzler down low, gives it over to Bartholomew. Bartholomew on the baseline. He's guarded by Pollard. In the corner, Jacobs, 3-ball, air ball, out of bounds. So the first bad shot we've seen from Nick Jacobs so far. This kid's hot from three-point line, and he's been able to show that he can score in the paint too. If you're Coach Van Dahl, who are you putting on this kid?
You could look to Jay Kreisig to look for that length, but you really need a speedier defender, because I'm sure you saw him working off of the screen there. He's a great athlete. He can really actually create his own shots off the ball. So I'd say maybe even give the nod to a Granger Rowan type player, maybe Dawson Lindquist, get that high contest on him, but there's not much you can do with a dynamic scorer.
Quickly now, it's Connor Hansen. Hansen gives it over to Piles. Inside now, it's Eric Pollard. Pollard getting guarded, little give and go to Piles, and they make the pick and roll work. Nice give and go there from Piles and Pollard. Sailors need a stop on the defensive end. Crossover dribble from Trey Ward. He gets to the rack, and that'll be a foul called against the Sailors. Foul goes against Eric Pollard. And that'll put Mead in the bonus. Sailors have 17 fouls. Mead at the free throw line. First one good. Trey Ward hits it, makes it 18-7. Granger Rowan checks in the game here. Jay Kreisig checks out as Jackson Metzler and Eric Pollard check out, excuse me. And it's Trey Ward from the line for one more. So he goes 2 for 2, make it 19-7. Sailors need some offensive help here. Still trying to scratch the surface of double-digit points. It's Jay Kreisig. Kreisig working, trying to break the full-court press. It's been a methodical process for the Sailors tonight. They get it stolen away again. And here's a transition lay-in from Mead. Will Marr once more. Blocking foul called on Nick Jacobs. Dawson Lindquist was trying to clear it. And that puts the Sailors in the bonus. And it looks like Dawson Lindquist will shoot a 1-and-1 now. Sailors haven't been passing too well thus far, Ryan.
Yeah, you can see the comparison between teams. Great passers makes great shooters is something that Mike always preaches, but in this game you're seeing those open guys down the wing, namely Ethan Piles on the previous possession there, wide open in the corner, but seeing over this zone and the length of this zone, the players in the zone rather, really makes it difficult to see those passing lanes, because even if a pass is there, just the extreme length of the defenders just seems like it's not.
Rifling the pass inside is Nick Jacobs. He sends a heater into the paint, finds Jacob McGill, who has the nice easy lay-in. 23-9 now. Sailors looking for anything really on the offensive end. Connor Hansen gets D'd up at the top of the key, dishes it off to Jay Kreisig. Kreisig puts up a fadeaway jumper, finally gets that one to fall. And Kreisig with the length, able to rise up and get the jumper. Jacobs for 3 again, no good. Fouls called against the Mavericks. It's an over-the-back call on J.P. Shears, the 6'9" sophomore. So Lindquist heads to the free throw line to shoot a 1-and-1 again.
J.P. Shears with 2. An excellent post presence and a lot of experience. He plays in the high school offseason on a pretty good AAU team, but he has a lot of that experience, so seeing him go toe-to-toe with some of the Sailors' big men is a nice matchup in the low post there.
Lindquist hits the first free throw, misses the second one. Mead pushing the envelope now quickly, all the way to the rack, then dishing it out. Here's Jacob McGill for three, no good. Lindquist is there to pull the board down, and ball's tipped up. Sailors working it on the offensive end. Here's Piles, three ball, got it. Ethan Piles for three, make it 23-15. Sailors climbing back into it. Jacobs trying to answer, can he? And he does. Nick Jacobs making it rain from the top of the key. Lindquist on the other end for the Sailors. Gets called for a travel. No, not a travel. Rather, it's a foul. And that is on Jacob McGill. Lindquist will shoot another 1-and-1. Eric Pollard going to check in the game here. No, not yet. It looks like he'll be going in for Lindquist. Second one, first one from Lindquist is good, 26-16. Sailors down by 10 points. Tanner Like is going to check in the game for Mead. 2:52 on the clock. Lindquist hits the second one as well, and he goes 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Pollard checks in. Now Lindquist will check out. 26-17. Sailors only down by 9. Need a couple big stops. Need a couple big shots. Here's Marr. Marr working it for the Mavericks. In the corner. Great vision to find the open man. And what a move to get to the basket from Trey Ward. He dices and slices his way along the baseline for 2. Trey Ward. And Hansen and company working it for the Sailors on the offensive end. Hansen showing off his dribble package. Phases the open man, now dishes it off to Pollard. It's tipped out of bounds, and they're going to say it stays with the Sailors, much to the dismay of the Mavericks team. Inbounding it is going to be Piles. Finds Hansen in the corner. Eyes up the tray ball. Dishes it off to Kreisig now. Now to Piles. Deep three. Thought he had it on target. Bounces out, and the rebound's gathered by Hansen. 2 minutes to play in the first half. Hansen, stutter step. Behind the back. Step back. Dishes it over to Pollard. Now outside to Kreisig. Kreisig going to try to step into the paint. He puts his shoulder down, posts up, gives it back to Pollard, and now it's going to be a charge call against Eric Pollard. I'm not sure if I completely agree with that one. And it's a turnover for the Sailors. Mavericks are going to handle it with a $1:47 to play. Eric Pollard with his third foul of the game.
With J.P. Shears, the 6'9 sophomore in there, having Eric Pollard on the bench, our main post presence on defense, having him on the bench is going to be a detriment if someone doesn't really step up, as you see J.P. Shears get his own rebound and scores 2 there.
J.P. Shears with a layup from under the basket makes it a 30-17 game. Quickly now it's Dawson Lindquist splitting the defense. Lindquist inside now to Kreisig. Kreisig looks for somewhere to go, gives it back out to Piles. Piles with 1:14 on the clock, works it into the corner, near side at the top of the key. It's Granger Rowan. 3 ball from Lindquist. And that's no good. Shears is just pulling down everything along the glass as he gets a defensive rebound there. J.P. Shears and company in the corner to Nick Jacobs on the other end. Jacobs for the Mavericks, looks inside, tried to find Shears. It was tipped off of a Steamboat player, and it remains with Mead. 51 seconds to play in the first half. Second quarter action on 105.7. There's another layup from Trey Ward. Trey Ward makes it 32-17. Piles with the behind the back pass, over to Lindquist. Lindquist now along the baseline. He swivels his hips, gives it back to Hansen, and now he's just going to pull it out. Hansen over to Piles at the top of the key. Piles working, pump fake, down low to Lindquist. Lindquist is going to drive, put up a shot, and he'll draw the foul. Dawson Lindquist heading to the free throw line to shoot a couple. 18 seconds on the clock. Kellen Adams getting ready to check in. Sailors going toe-to-toe with the number 4 team in the state. A technical foul being handed out here against Trey Ward. Ryan, did you catch that?
The Trey Ward there for the Mavericks was kind of jawing at the refs. He didn't really agree with the call. Dawson Lindquist got the foul there. I think he was trying to say that J.P. Shears didn't have anything to do with it as they gave him the foul there. But
well, Trey Ward, he was also jawing at them on the offensive end down here when he scored that last bucket. He wanted a foul called on the Sailors, and he didn't get it, and I think that's kind of where it started. So Lindquist hits the 2 free throws for the Sailors. Now Connor Hansen's going to come in, and he'll take the technical free throws. With the student section in his ear, he makes the first one. Second one from Hansen's good, as he goes 2 for 2. 32-21, it's an 11-point game here at Mead High School. 18 seconds to play in the first half. Lowen Epstein, Ryan Hansen on the call. Lindquist will inbound it from the far side. Sailors looking to probably get the final shot off as it's Piles working, bringing it past midcourt now. Piles has 10 seconds to play. Over to Kreisig. It's stolen away. Quickly, McGill over to Trey Ward, and he gets the bucket to fall. 2 seconds on the clock, and that'll do it. The buzzer sounds, and the Sailors are going to head into the locker room down 34-21. Ryan Hansen, Lowen Epstein on the call. Keep your dials locked on 105.7 KTYV and on the World Wide Web at SteamboatRadio.com. We'll be back after the break.
Just bring me an email and a claim number, and I'll take care of the rest.
Russell's Auto Salon, Colorado's premier collision center, leading the industry in technology, where we have gone green with Enviro-based paint, and we are proud supporters of Steamboat Sailors Sports.
Russell's Auto Salon, where we always meet. 879-1515.
Basketball for 6 years. I also run cross country and track. Outside of school and sports, I'm also involved in my church as a leader for the younger kids. I like to go to college at University of Wyoming after 2 years at Colorado Northwestern Community College. I will not be playing any sports in college. I will just try and get my degree. I see myself in 10 years as being a game warden or any parks and wildlife officer. My favorite subject in school is math. My favorite movie is Jurassic Park. I like this movie because it's a movie. Last summer I had an auto
before to schedule a service appointment with one of our expert technicians or a free in-home estimate for a whole new look. Hot Stuff loves my Steamboat Sailors basketball and is happy to keep this valley safe and warm. Hot Stuff Hearth and Home, located just off Highway 40 next to Walgreens. Go Sailors!
The team of Mountain View Car Wash and Detailing Professionals is proud to be supporting Sailor Sports this season. Whether a basic wash or a full detail, we know that the key to providing you with excellent service is teamwork and attention to detail. So while the Sailors are focusing on cleaning up the competition this season, we'll be focusing on cleaning up your vehicle. With affordable washes and a wide variety of detail services, we have the game plan to fit your budget and needs. We are located at the corner of Highway 40 and Trafalgar Drive. Mountain View Car Wash, where there are no Hail Marys, just awesome touchdown dances.
It's time now for your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
Hey, my name's Jake. I'm a junior in high school. I'm number 32. I play wing mostly, some center, kind of all around. Playing varsity this year. I also like to play other outdoor activities and video games, stuff like that. Outside of school and sports, I'm also involved in my family and friends and all that other stuff. I'd like to go to college at CU or CSU. I'll play in college if the opportunity presents itself. I would obviously be playing basketball. In 10 years, I see myself going to school for business, hopefully looking to start one. My favorite subject in school is history because it relates to everything that's going on today. My favorite movie is Escape Plan. I like the movie because there's a lot of action and it keeps you thinking. Last summer I played a little travel ball and hung out. My goal for this season is to stay healthy and improve from last year. My goals for life are to not work too much and have no regrets. What I will remember most about being a sailor is the teammates I've met. Jake Kreisig, Jr., proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
This is Skip Beardo from Alpine Lumber here in Steamboat Springs. Alpine Lumber is a Colorado company and is committed to being the best supplier of materials and related services to the professional builder and homeowner throughout the Yampa Valley, offering lumber and building materials, hardware, paints, and stains. And we are proud to support Sailors Basketball. Easy to find Alpine Lumber, located on Pine Grove Road past Walgreens. Alpine Lumber, employee-owned and operated, contractor's choice, the homeowner's choice.
Managing local land involves balancing resources such as agriculture, water, and wildlife. I'm Brian Ripley, and I have over 16 years of experience managing ranch resources as your neighbor here in Routt County. I'm the Ranch and Rural Property Specialist for the Paoli Group with the support of Colorado Group Realty. Put your trust in someone that has the practical experience and knowledge to help you with all of your ranch, rural, and equine property needs. I aspire to help you reach all of your real estate goals. I'm Brian Ripley, and you can find me at thepaoligroup.com in the Ranch Division.
Steamboat Resorts not only offers a large array of properties that can host your next steamboat vacation, we have been giving back to the Yampa Valley for more than 30 years. Hi, this is Todd Siepkin, Executive General Manager for Steamboat Resorts. Steamboat Resorts and its local employees have been partnering with our community since 1980, from Sailor Sports to the Pro Rodeo Series, Routt County 4-H, and Yampa Valley Sustainability Council, to name just a few. Call us at 879-8000 or go online to steamboatresorts.com. Steamboat Resorts, your local lodging leader.
Hi, this is Cindy Hike, owner of Celebrations and Steamboat Arts on the 8th block of Lincoln Avenue. We recently added a new candy store and pottery painting studio for individuals or groups of 12 people or less. Check out our new additions to the arcade. We have air hockey, dig dug, and Galaga. Book a party online today at steamboatcelebrations.com or call 879-3333. Mention this ad and receive 2 free tokens. I'll see you at Celebrations, 831 Lincoln Avenue. Open daily, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Time now for your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
My name is Josie Foote, and I'm a junior. My number is 33, and I play post.
This one's so good.
I played basketball for 4 years. I also like to play soccer. Outside of school and sports, I am involved with NHS and Model UN. I'd like to go to college somewhere on the West Coast, and I will not play sports in college. In 10 years, I see myself having a job. hopefully. My favorite subject in school is math. My favorite movie is Surf's Up. I like this movie because of Chicken Joe. Last summer, I went to France.
My dog.
So in France, I saw the Women's World Cup, and America won. Woo! Go USA! My goals for this season are to score points and not let points in, and let George not get mad at me. My goals for life are to have a job somewhere and have a family. What I will remember most about being a sailor is all the good times we had as a team. I'm Josie Foote, a junior, and I'm proud to be a sailor.
That was your Steamboat Sailor Spotlight on 105.7 KTYV Sports on FM.
Hey, Sailor basketball fans, PJ Wharton of Yampa Valley Bank here to thank you for supporting our hometown basketball team. Yampa Valley Bank is proud to support all of our student athletes and to sponsor this broadcast of Steamboat Sailors basketball. On KTYV Sports on FM, Steamboat High School Athletics are an example of our genuine hometown. Yampa Valley Bank, genuine hometown banking. Enjoy the game and go Sailors!
This is Steamboat Sailors basketball, brought to you by Yampa Valley Bank, Alpine Lumber, The Quarter Slice, Mountain View Car Wash, Russell's Auto Salon, Steamboat Ace Hardware, UC Health at Yampa Valley Medical Center, Chris Puckett at the downtown Edward Jones office, Steamboat Resorts by Wyndham Vacation Rentals, and Mountain Mattress and Furniture.
Now let's go to the booth for the call of Steamboat Sailors basketball.
In the booth for the call of Steamboat Sailors basketball. Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. Good to have everyone listening and tuning in here today. Sailors in the midst of a tough matchup versus the number 4 team in the state, the Mead Mavericks, here in Mead, Colorado. Mead averaging a decent 96 points per game this season. Sailors have been able to hold them to 34 at the half, as they are down 34-21. So here we go for second half action here on 105.7 KTYV. Also in your home at steamboatradio.com. Mead getting us started off here. Quickly now, it's going to be worked around. Sailors get a turnover now, and the first offensive possession for the Sailors starts now. Piles gives it over to Connor Hansen. Hansen, nice little dump off inside to Eric Pollard, and Pollard's going to get called for a travel. And so the Mavericks are back with it on the other end. Mead working. It's Nick Jacobs. Big first half for Nick Jacobs as he slices and dices. Turnaround jumper, and he buries it. Nick Jacobs, definitely the MVP thus far. Dawson Lindquist splits the defense, gets his shot blocked. It's tipped out of bounds, and the Sailors are going inbounded in the offensive zone. Ethan Piles doing the honors. Piles with Will Maher in his face. Piles looking for somewhere to go. He's running out of time. No look pass. Gives it over to Connor Hansen. Saucy little pass there from the baseline. Hansen gives it back to Piles, and now at the point guard position, here's Ethan Piles. Piles runs off the pick set by Kreisig. He draws the double team in the corner. Gives it back to Kreisig. 3-ball. Kreisig can't hit there, and it's stolen away by Ethan Piles. Piles takes it to the corner. Work it around the horn. It's Lindquist. Inside, it's going to be Eric Pollard. Back outside to Piles. Little pitch and catch here as they try to play the 2-on-1 game. Here's Pollard under the basket, and they're going to say he stepped out of bounds.
There's good defensive hustle by Ethan Piles to get the possession back there, but just getting bodied under the basket there by J.P. Shears. J.P. Shears really showing out today on the defensive end, kind of locking Eric Pollard down for the most part. But as you saw there, kind of got the position up under him and forced him to have to take that step backwards out of bounds, gaining Mead the possession.
Whistle on the other end goes against the Sailors. Mead is going to inbound it here. It'll be Will Maher. Maher gives it inside, and that's an easy lay-in for Jacob Bartholomew. Bartholomew, the 6'5" senior, having a pretty nice game thus far. Sailors back on the offensive end now. It's in the corner to Dawson Lindquist. Lindquist near side, right in front of his bench. Gives it over to Connor Hansen. Hansen holds it above his head, looks for somewhere to go, gives it to his right. That's going to be Kreisig. Kreisig inside to Lindquist. Lindquist is going to try to post up here. He's got 2 on him, goes for the up and under, and Lindquist gets it to fall. 38-23. Sailors not out of this one. It's tipped out by Piles, stays with the Mavericks. Mead going to inbound it from the far side. It'll be Will Marr. Marr gives it over to Nick Jacobs. He pulls the 3, and that one rims out. Rebound gathered by Pollard. Eric Pollard's there for the board. Cross-court pass. Here's Hansen. Fast break, and that one's sent into the stands. Connor Hansen getting denied at the rim. Stays with the Sailors.
An interesting look as you see a change in the starting lineup. Kellen Adams taking a seat for Ethan Piles in the second half here. In the first, you saw Coach Van Dahl unhappy with the defensive communication from Kellen Adams, but defense is looking pretty good here so far, other than that tough shot by Nick Jacobs a second ago.
Coach Van Dahl going to take a timeout here and have some words with his bench. And Ryan, you and I are right behind their bench. We're close enough to see a lot of the reactions. Ethan Piles coming off the court, pretty frustrated as it looks like. He's making the gesture, telling his team to kind of speed up and, let's really push the pace here. What do you think of that?
I think what Piles is looking for there is to get past those lengthier defenders like JP Shears and Nick Jacobs, because, as you know, Piles isn't the tallest player in the world, but he can get that separation. I think that's what he's looking for there, kind of spread the defense out more rather than letting them sit back. He wants to speed it up and kind of turn the ball a few times. I think Coach Van Dahl agrees with him.
So out of the timeout, Connor Hansen, Eric Pollard, Dawson Lindquist, Jake Kreisig, and Ethan Piles, your Sailors on the floor right now. As Piles is going to inbound it. Let's see if the Sailors drew up a play here. Connor Hansen's going to run off the pick, and it's going to be given to Dawson Lindquist. Lindquist gives it over to Hansen, and a hold is going to be called. And that goes against Mead. That is JP Shears getting called for the hold in the paint. Piles will inbound it once more. Another whistle on the floor. Refs having some words. I'm not sure what that was about. Here's another substitution as Will Tenor will check in the game. Piles is going to inbound it now finally. And he just throws this one up to Kreisig. Kreisig gives it back to Piles, and he handles it at the top of the key. Piles being guarded by Will Marr. Goes between his legs, crossover dribble, runs off the pick. Piles pull up Jay, 10-footer, no good, off the front iron, can't get it to go. Now it's going to be Mead. Marr working, dishes it off. Bartholomew outside. McGill back inside to Bartholomew. Here's Marr taking it. Jacobs for 3. Can't get it to go, and it's pulled away by Lindquist. That's going to be a foul against Mead. Should be an over and back call. Over the back call. Indeed it is. So the Sailors need to break this full court press now as they handle it, trying to get back on the offensive end. It's Piles inbounding it, gives it to Pollard. Pollard gives it to Hansen. Now they work up the far side. Hansen crossover dribble, kicks it to the corner. Here's Kreisig for 3, off the window, no good. And rebound's going to be last touched by Pollard, goes out of bounds. Mead gets it back. The thing, Ryan, that I'd like to see more is probably better rebounding. Obviously, there's a huge height disadvantage between these two teams. But when you have a shot like that from Kreisig, it'd be good to have a couple possessions where you're getting 2 or 3 looks.
Yeah, one thing Coach Van Dahl was talking about prior to the game with his team, I heard a dialogue between him and his team, and he was really preaching only Connor and Piles really getting back on defense. He kind of really harped on the fact that they do need to crash those boards, so I'm unsure of maybe a miscommunication here, but yeah, they definitely do need those extra rebounds. As you saw, Eric Pollard boxing his guy out very well, but that length coming down from the wings and things like that, getting those rebounds from Mead is helping them maintain this lead.
It absolutely is. Most coaches you talk to are going to tell you that whoever wins the game along the boards is probably going to win in the final box score. So an errant pass here from Mead results in a Sailors possession. It'll be Granger Rowan inbounding it. Rowan gives it back to Piles, and now Piles is going to work 1v1 versus Will Marr. Piles crossover dribble. Nice little package there as he gets Will Marr stumbling. Hits it cross court over to Granger Rowan. Rowan working now, gives it inside to Lindquist. Lindquist is going to have it in the paint. He'll try to post up, ducking under, and that one just not on target as that layup doesn't fall. Quickly now it's Mead back on the other end. Here's Will Marr, pull up Jade, 15-footer, buries it. 40-23, Sailors down by a huge margin here against Mead, number 4 team in the state. As Will Marr just picks Ethan Piles' pocket, and he misses the go-ahead lay-in. Piles gets it back once more. Up the near side, it's Lindquist. Lindquist spin move, fadeaway jumper, and he gets called for another travel. I remember there was a lot of parents and a lot of fans who didn't like the way the refs would always call Mac Riniker on that same exact move. Riniker would have a beautiful spin move, and more times than not he gets called for the travel, and that's what just happens to Lindquist as Nick Jacobs tries to put up a lay-in, no good, and a foul is going to be called here. That goes against Jacob Bartholomew, his third of the game, and now Kellen Adams checks in, as does Eric Pollard. Kreisig and Piles check out. Sailors inbounding it from the defensive end. It's going to be given to Connor Hansen, now back over to Granger Rowan with 3 minutes on the clock in the third. Rowan handles it, working, trying to get by his defender, dishes it out to Lindquist. He lines up the tray, and he hits it. Dawson Lindquist for 3. Jacobs on the other end, gets fouled. Probably going to be on Eric Pollard. It is. That's his 4th of the game. So one more for Pollard. He's got 4 here pretty early. Coach Van Dahl not making any moves at this moment to take him out of the game. Will Marr now handles it for Mead. Mead guarded by Lindquist. Marr guarded by Lindquist. Nice pass inside to Bartholomew, and he flushes it home. Wow. I mean, that was a crafty pass from Will Marr. He's threaded the needle on that, gets it in between 3 defenders, finds Bartholomew in the paint, and Bartholomew just with a 2-hand jam. That's a pretty play by this Mavericks team. On the other end, Marr lines up the 3-ball, got it to go. Sheesh. 45-26. Mead with a commanding lead here in the third quarter. 2:05 on the clock. Kellen Adams trapped in the corner, getting bothered by Marr. Gives it inside to Pollard. Pollard loses the defender, and he knocks that one in for a couple. 45-28. Quickly now, it's going to be Bartholomew.